The Horrors of Flamethrower Operators.
You probably think that you know what the flamethrower would do to a human body. You might also think that you can imagine what it was like to be a flamethrower operator. But that's now going to be shattered by what
Bro,
this
them
weapon
niggas, I know them niggas was probably moving crazy back in the day. Think about it. All that damn fire, nigga, kill streak after kill streak, my nigga. What? Y'all don't understand, nigga, what? Everybody on the field, everybody shooting, then the nigga just pop out, spawn a flamethrower, knock out a whole enemy line. That shit is nuts.
actually did to both the Americans and Japanese on Iwo Jima, when you realize it was much worse than you could ever even imagine. On the morning of February 19th, 1945, 3 United States Marine divisions began their landing on Iwo Jima, another stop in their island-hopping campaign. However, this one is going to be completely different than any place they fought before, and the first where the American casualties exceeded those of the Japanese. Lieutenant General Tadamichi Kuribayashi was in charge of Iwo Jima defense, and he created such a system that the only American weapon that could effectively destroy it was the flamethrower.
Wow.
Before you hear what happened when the battle spiraled out of control and the flamethrower became the central and the deadliest weapon, you first have to understand these defensive positions, because they weren't just tunnels and bunkers. Iwo Jima is a small volcanic island where some 21,000 Japanese soldiers were ordered to make their final stand and to make the Americans pay the highest possible price for taking it. They knew they weren't getting off that island, and for all of them but some 200 soldiers who surrendered, Iwo Jima would become their grave. They were ordered that each soldier must take out at least 10 Americans before he was allowed to die. So they could—
Nigga, what? Nah, that's nuts. You gotta take out 10 Americans before your ass die. What? Oh, I know they was moving crazy. Oh my gosh. But that's sad as fuck, honestly, the what you think about it.
created the system that would keep them alive long enough to do so. General Kuribayashi had watched how defensive methods from Tarawa to Saipan were broken, and he decided to do it differently this time. He pulled his men back off the beaches and ordered the digging of miles of tunnels and rooms underground. Because the island was made of soft volcanic rock, the Japanese could dig such a vast underground network by hand. On the surface were hundreds of pillboxes, concrete fortifications, and bunkers that were all interconnected by the underground tunnels. He knew that the overwhelming American firepower from heavy naval guns and bombers would destroy most of the positions on the surface. So, when the pre-invasion
So the niggas went underground with it?
bombardment came, the Japanese went underground instead. All their guns and equipment were dug in deep and waited for the American bombardment to pass before coming back up. But this is what all other documentaries gloss over, like the Japanese just waited it out in their comfortable tunnels. Well, it wasn't like that. The pre-invasion bombardment lasted for 70 days, during which the Americans dropped some 5,800 tons of bombs. They were sitting inside tunnels literally dug into a volcano, breathing sulfur fumes in 100-degree heat,
artillery,
while getting bombed for over 2 months. Calling that waiting it out is demeaning.
Nigga, I'd be fucking terrified. All them damn bombs. It was like, for what though? On the island, nigga, that's a fucking buster call real life. What the fuck? That shit's nuts. Actually.
To what they suffered. And frankly, it was only about to get started. The island looked burned to the ground from outside, and the Americans even stopped the bombardment sooner than planned. As they put it, it looked like every living thing on the island was already killed by the bombardment. But that was far from the truth. Most of the Japanese positions were still standing, and the real hell for everyone on that island was now about to start as the first wave of US Marines hit the beaches. But hold on to that for a second. About a year before the Battle of Iwo Jima, the American Chemical Warfare Service published a very strange research in an article called Mercy Killer. It pretty much told the public that death by the flamethrower might as well be quick and nearly painless. It was described that soldiers found dead in their pillboxes hit by the flamethrower were barely marked, with almost intact skin, looking like the soldier didn't feel any pain before he died. This led to an experiment to determine how the flamethrower actually kills, and there are a few more ways than the obvious one of getting directly hit by the fire stream. It was carbon monoxide poisoning, lack of oxygen, and breathing in superheated air and vaporized gasoline. And if you wonder how they came to those conclusions, well, they built mock pillboxes, put pigs and rabbits inside, and then, tested out the flamethrower.
Nigga, what? They was using animals and shit as test subjects? Nah, bro, that shit is crazy. Nigga, imagine how many animals until they got it right.
You're now going to hear what that actually looked like on Iwo Jima. The Japanese waited and held their fire until a few more waves of Marines landed and the beach got packed with men and equipment. After about 1 hour, Kuribayashi gave the order to his artillery and machine guns to open fire, and the battle began. Marines were getting obliterated on the beaches, lying there with no cover and with their vehicles stuck in volcanic ash. They sustained horrific casualties, but over the course of the day they managed to push some distance inland, where they learned the full extent of what they were dealing with. The pillboxes couldn't be taken out the conventional way by shooting them with tanks or throwing grenades inside. The first thing was that most of the time, pillboxes weren't even visible and covered by dirt that the bombardment threw up. And one was usually revealed only after someone got killed by the fire coming from it. And then when the Marines focused their attention on taking it out, they...
Nah, so these niggas had fucking war tactic plans, literally. Nigga, what? They was moving, nigga, chess and checkers all fucking day. That shit is nuts, honestly.
be shot in the back from another pillbox. They were built to cover one another, and the whole island was just one big interlocking kill zone for the Marines. But even that wasn't the worst thing. Marines would suppress the pillbox so someone could run up and toss the satchel charge or grenade inside, which was supposed to clear it. But then, when the Marines went past it, someone would start shooting from the same pillbox again. It was then that they began to realize that these were no ordinary pillboxes, but that they were all connected by underground tunnels. There was no clear front line, and the fighting came from all directions. The Japanese had the so-called grenade trenches inside their fortified positions. So when the grenade went in, it could be kicked in that little hole, which would contain its blast and do little to the defenders except blow their eardrums. The satchel charge was more effective. It was basically a bag with a fuse packed with explosive, or even put on the end of a stick so it could be thrown in easier and harder to throw out. It had much more explosive power than the hand grenade, but the pillboxes were also built with the walls zigzagging at 90 degrees inside. So the blast would kill 2 or 3 soldiers in the fighting position, while the rest, just around the corner, were still alive and could quickly continue firing. Even if everyone inside was killed, the pillbox was connected with the rest of the system, so someone could still come there again and shoot the Marines in the back. What Marines needed was something that would seal the position once and for all. It became so bad that in the first days of fighting, poison gas was proposed to be used to kill the garrison underground, but President Roosevelt didn't approve it. So, they took what they already had and what already worked against stubborn defensive positions that couldn't be destroyed by any other means. The flamethrower. The burning stream of thickened fuel would drip inside through the firing slits. It would splash off the interior walls and run around the corners. It would do horrific things to anyone hit by it. However, it would do much more, and it didn't even need to hit a soldier to kill him. Soldiers killed this way were the ones that made people believe the flamethrower was the mercy killer. They'd look untouched from the outside, but from the inside, the effects were horrible. Marines also worked out the tactic called wet burst, where they'd spray fuel without igniting it and soak the target with it. Then they'd wait a moment for it to drip inside a cave or pillbox, and then they'd fire the burst to ignite everything at once. This way the fuel would explode inside and cause an even more horrific effect. And anyone who had seen what someone looks like after the flamethrower attack would know without a doubt that the mercy killer research was entirely false. I've exposed myself to some shocking things I found on the internet while doing the research for this video. So, if you really want to see that, you can find it yourself. But my honest advice is that you do not. Anyway, this way the pillbox that got hit by the flamethrower couldn't be immediately reoccupied, and the Marines had enough time to approach and seal it with explosives. This is what became known as the blowtorch and corkscrew tactic, meaning the flame first and then the explosive to fully seal the entrance. So, if anyone was still alive inside, if the tunnel didn't lead to the next position, he would remain there forever. And this happened to the majority of those 21,000 Japanese soldiers.
21,000.
Americans had already used flamethrowers against the Japanese fortifications earlier in the war, like on Guadalcanal.
See, bro, that shit just not fair, bro. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what can you do against that shit? Like, damn, niggas got flame. Niggas got shit that niggas don't even got. Niggas damn probably just have to sit there and wait it out.
M1A1 flamethrower started using thickened fuel that became known as napalm, which had longer reach and burned hotter than gasoline. But the ignition system was a problem. So, by the time of Iwo Jima, an improved model was in service, the M2-2. It had 2 fuel tanks holding some 4 gallons of thickened gasoline, while a third smaller tank in between had nitrogen gas under high pressure that pushed the fuel out. On the nozzle was a new igniter. Instead of an old battery spark that had a bad habit of failing to ignite just as you were in front of the enemy position, the M2 had a much more reliable 5-shot magnesium incendiary charge system that lit the fuel. The whole thing weighed some 70 pounds. So good luck running with it on your back over the shattered
terrain. So you're not even running with that bitch, nigga. You damn near walking. Nigga, what? Okay, so that's why them niggas, what? Whole large area. Niggas, nah, because think about it. If that bitch was lighter, that bitch would be way deadlier. Nigga, imagine a nigga running at you with a flamethrower. What the fuck? Nigga, that shit is terrifying. I'd give up. I'm saying, what the fuck? You can't fight that. It's like a switch. What the fuck? Hell no.
At the enemy position under fire. All that weight gave you just about 7 seconds of fire time. So flamethrower operators usually fired carefully in a few short bursts. You'd also need to come terrifyingly close to the enemy position as the range was only about 20 yards. Now you begin to understand the casualty rate of the flamethrower operator. But we've only started listing their troubles. There's a popular belief that the flamethrower would explode in a huge fireball if hit by a rifle round, like you'd see in the movies. But something like that rarely happened. The thickened fuel was hard to light and didn't detonate like a high explosive, so a bullet going through the tank would make it leak out, or most of the time just deflect off the steel tank. But the pressurized tank was different. It held nitrogen under very high pressure, so if penetrated, it could burst with enough force to kill a man. The Japanese quickly learned which weapon was the most dangerous to them, the one with the unmistakably recognizable big green backpack. So, whenever a flamethrower operator was spotted, the whole front focused on him, as they knew really well what would happen if they let him come close.
What?
And
that makes sense, nigga. What? Them niggas do that damage, nigga. What the fuck? You got all them niggas with the pistols and shit, with the fucking muskets and shit, but you got the flamethrower niggas and the whole battlefield on your ass, nigga. But then it's like, as a flamethrower, it's like, damn, nigga. You know, once you put on this damn backpack and walk out there, my nigga, they on your ass. Over with, nigga. What? Fuck no, that shit crazy.
And by some miracle, he did come close to
damn near a guaranteed death. Low key. I don't think that's crazy to say.
The firing range. He still had to fire the big and loud stream that revealed his position to everyone on the battlefield.
Exactly.
If he didn't take out the pillbox with those 7 seconds of fire he had, the operator would be left only with the 1911 pistol sidearm to fight the angry Japanese soldiers he just tried to burn alive.
Oh, wow.
And you'd agree that they were understandably furious. So, falling alive into enemy hands as a flamethrower operator is definitely something that you'd avoid at all costs. And if everything somehow went right for the flamethrower operator, and he was one of the few to actually survive the war, he was left with quite the memories. Now, I can't go really deep on that, but setting someone on fire from 20 yards away would mean that you'd very clearly see, hear...
Hey, see, that's bullshit. 20 yards away? Are we serious? Nigga, what? Nigga, all you gotta do is turn around and just spray fire. Nigga, what? Crazy as hell.
And smell the consequences of your weapon, all of which are things that a human mind simply cannot forget. So, to keep the flame...
Probably didn't have masks and shit, like generally gas masks while using the flamethrower, honestly.
Flamethrower operator alive long enough to reach the enemy position, Marines built assault teams around him. When the flamethrower jumped up and started his run with the 70 pounds on his back, the riflemen and BAR gunners stood up and opened fire at the Japanese positions to suppress them. You know, hopefully. Then, if the flamethrower reached the position still alive and fired his weapon, they do the same thing as he sprinted for his life back to...
Damn, so after you get done using all your gas and shit, nigga, you only left with a pistol, my nigga? Damn. And that pistol might not even do shit, nigga. What? Nah. See, like I'm saying, that's a guaranteed death. And then, nigga, you right there and everybody right there, they about to jump your ass. It's either they go hit that gas tank, but it's either like they say, either the bullet deflects off the gas tank or that shit start leaking, and that too. And they can kill somebody. Kill him. Kill a whole team, matter of fact. Niggas probably don't got snipers and shit, nigga. What? 50 cal, nigga. Boom, nigga. What? Nah, 50 cal ripping legs off, real shit. Definitely. All that shit, that shit ain't no game, real shit.
Cover. But this was incredibly dangerous and difficult to do, as you see, and the majority of flamethrowers were killed or wounded during such runs. As for the casualty rate, the most widely used figure is 96%. while life expectancy was 4 minutes on the battlefield. Although such numbers always depend on specific conditions and they aren't the most accurate thing in the world, nevertheless, it was obviously really bad. Trained flamethrowers were almost all killed early in the battle, and whoever—
Exactly, like you just, like, what the fuck? Are we serious right now? That's fucking nuts. What do you mean? Half of them that's trained and shit that know how to use the shit is killed, but like, well, they all targeted, so it makes sense. But that's how I said, people that do this shit, it's like, nigga, yeah, you making a difference, but at the same time, nigga, within them 7 seconds or whatever, how much ever gasoline and shit you using, if you don't spray some shit within 20 yards and hitting anybody, nigga, you're dead, nigga. You just wasted your motherfucking life. And you know, they're not gonna stop bringing the fucking flamethrower niggas for the simple fact, they need them. What the fuck? That's a lot of damage, bro. Where the fuck y'all weapons at? That shit's nuts, honestly.
Wounded during such runs. As for the casualty rate, the most widely used figure is 96%, while life expectancy was 4 minutes on the battlefield.
4 minutes on the battlefield.
Although such numbers always
Like,
depend
what?
on specific conditions and they aren't the most accurate thing in the world, nevertheless, it was
Still,
obviously
probably
really
4-15.
bad. Trained flamethrowers were almost all killed early in the battle, and whoever could be made to carry one was stepping in as a replacement.
Damn.
No video about the flamethrowers on Iwo Jima would be complete without mentioning Herschel Woody Williams. 2 days after he landed on February 21st, American tanks couldn't open a lane for the infantry through a belt of Japanese pillboxes, and the advance stalled under heavy machine gun fire. Woody was the only flamethrower left in his company, and his commander
going
asked him—
crazy. He got Oriole. What this nigga on for real? He got a kill count? What he doing? He invented something? I'm trying to figure out.
if he could do something about those pillboxes, and he said he'd take care of it. So, 4 riflemen opened covering fire, and Woody went forward. He burned the first pillbox and ran back with his empty flamethrower, then got a full one and went forward again, burning the next pillbox. He did this for a full 4 hours under heavy enemy fire.
4 hours?
He knocked
What
out
the
7
fuck?
pillboxes that day.
Nigga, you got stabbed, but you got time on your hands, like 4 hours. So you mean to tell me everybody doing this nigga the only nigga doing this? No, somebody had to swap with this nigga. Ain't no fucking way.
One and went forward again, burning the next pillbox. He did this for a full 4 hours under heavy enemy fire. He knocked out
Under heavy enemy fire too. This nigga getting shot at too. What?
7 pillboxes that day, and even cut
7.
down a Japanese bayonet charge with his flamethrower.
Damn.
2 of the 4 riflemen covering him were killed, while Woody was somehow the only one who came out of that action in one piece. He was awarded the Medal of Honor for his incredible
Like,
action,
of course,
and
I
he
would
died
hope
in
so.
2022 at the
Damn,
age
that
of
sucks.
98. Because the flamethrower
R.I.P.
operators were so vulnerable and could carry only a small amount of fuel, the Americans were experimenting with putting the flamethrowers on tanks. Even before
What? Why the fuck are we putting the flamethrower on the, like, hold on. So are we serious? What the fuck? Bro, this can't be real, bruh. A flamethrower on a tank? Nah, they wildin'.
Iwo Jima, during the previous battles with the Japanese, they tested the M3 Stuart light tanks with flamethrower systems instead of their main gun. It was still very unreliable, and the Stuart was a small,
Of course it'd be
thinly armored
unreliable.
tank, pretty much obsolete for the time. So they tried the same concept then with the M4 Sherman. They managed to make 8 flame Shermans ready for the invasion of Iwo Jima,
No way.
and they already landed on the first day of the battle. They were held back and used sparingly at first, but once they showed what they could do, these 8 flame Shermans became what Marines described as a
Nigga,
weapon without
look
which
at
they'd
that
never win the
shit.
battle. The
That's
Sherman
mass
tank gave
dest-
much needed protection,
It's probably more than 20 yards. There's no way it ain't. It's probably
and
that's
small
just
arms fire coming
nuts.
from all sides, and it carried about 300 gallons of fuel that it could
300
spit
gallons.
out over
What,
100
nigga?
years.
Yeah, see, that's why, nigga, I gotta wipe a whole nation, damn near half a nation at least. Nigga, what? A couple, nigga, what? Oh yeah, that's crazy. Like I said, the shit they had back in the day, that shit was no joke. But the shit you got now too is probably even worse. I'm not gonna lie. But back then, they definitely had some crazy shit. I will say, tripping.
Yards. What made it even worse for the Japanese is that they didn't have anything better than the 47mm anti-tank gun, which couldn't
Damn.
penetrate the Sherman tank from the front at any range. They didn't have any other anti-tank weapons, so they resorted to much darker, more desperate tactics to knock out flame Shermans. They were the only American weapon that was effectively dismantling their defensive system for which they didn't have a solution. They were trying to ambush tanks with magnetic mines and satchel charges in those quote-unquote one-way missions, and one turret crew of a flame Sherman was killed when a Japanese soldier detonated himself on their engine deck. But the flame Shermans were protected by regular tanks and infantry, and they were indistinguishable from the outside until they fired, by which point it was usually too late. Flame Shermans fired 10,000 gallons of fuel every day during the battle. Flamethrowers both in the backpack and flame tank form were credited with an estimated 30% of the Japanese killed on Iwo.
No, we're not gonna skip past that. What the fuck was that? That bitch was like a switch.
10,000 gallons of fuel every day during the battle. Flamethrowers both in the backpack and flame tank form were credited with an estimated
bro, that's overpowered.
30% of the Japanese killed on Iwo. The whole thing would then move to Okinawa, where the flame tanks would fight on the largest scale in history.
That's nuts. What the fuck? I just can't believe they had all that shit. Bro, so we gotta do more videos like this, because all the shit they had back in the day, I'm already knowing all the torture methods, all that. Now, some of that shit was just really fucked up, for real, honestly. It was just brutality, honestly. But yeah, we're finna edit this bitch, get this bitch out for y'all. Like, subscribe, comment, get us to 1.5. Share this bitch, do what y'all gotta do, and I'm out. Peace.